Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Tuesday, April the 7th. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local share market is set to begin the shortened trading week positively, with ASX futures up marginally. Well, global equity markets have begun the week modestly higher, while oil prices have risen as the US and Iran exchanged verbal attacks, while President Trump reiterated threats to strike Iran unless it makes a deal by Wednesday morning our time. US stocks advanced as investors look for signs of progress towards the US-Iran ceasefire deal, with all three major indices advancing. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq notching up their fourth consecutive session of gains. Travel and leisure stocks were among the outperformers, along with aerospace and defence stocks. Shares of the chip makers firmed initially, rising on data showing global semiconductor sales rose 62% to close to $89 billion in February this year, compared with a year earlier. Tesla shares, they fell as JP Morgan lowered EPS estimates for the company following first quarter 2026 deliveries. Tesla shares are down more than 20% year to date. Shares of Soleno Therapeutics surged after Neurocrine Biosciences agreed to acquire the rare disease drug maker. And Bitcoin strength helped US listed shares of cryptocurrency-linked firms advance. Well, Iran has said it wants a lasting end to the war with the US and Israel and has pushed back against pressure to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump has warned that Iran could be taken out if it did not meet his Tuesday night deadline to reach a deal. He's threatened to destroy Iranian power plants and bridges, dismissing concerns that such actions would be a war crime. US services sector growth, meanwhile, slowed in March, while prices paid by businesses for inputs climbed to near 3.5-year highs, in a sign that the war with Iran is boosting inflation pressures. On Friday, the non-farm payrolls report showed US job growth rebounded more than expected in March, the biggest increase in 15 months, and also the largest since President Trump returned to the White House, while the unemployment rate fell to 4.3%. US Treasuries were little changed as bond investors were caught between optimism over reports of a ceasefire plan for the Middle East and unease over President Trump's threat to escalate strikes. The yield on the 10-year note was at 4.33%, the 2-year at 3.85%. Australian 3-year government bond yields closed on Thursday prior to Easter at 4.73%, the 10-year was at 5.06%. The US dollar index is little changed on the day. The Aussie is trading at 69.2 US cents. Oil prices climbed in choppy trade overnight as the US and Iran engage in indirect talks that could lead to the de-escalation of hostilities. Brent crude futures at close to $110 a barrel. Gold edged lower as investors await further signs of the Middle East war or signals from that. Spot gold down around 0.5% at $4,650 an ounce. Copper rose 0.5%. Iron ore up almost 1% to $111 a ton. And Bitcoin is trading at close to $69,000. Ahead locally today, we get monthly household spending for February and ANZ Indeed job ads for March. That is your day ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.